Hi, my name is David Delcini. I am head of the Delcini Group located in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and I'd like to introduce to you what our firm does. We connect capital to Caribbean branded luxury resorts in the early phase of their development. So in this space, there's opportunities and there's challenges in the high-end markets, which are booming currently. The global brands that are in the Caribbean, specifically I live in the Dominican Republic, we had in the first quarter of 2025 at least one name brand, global name brand, opening on the island, on the south side, Capacana, Punta Cana region of the Dominican Republic. The challenge for these developments is matching up capital partners that understand the life cycle of a development, the life of the development. For example, you have to be okay with a 3-year runway for ground-up construction, and then the 4th year you open your doors, and the preceding years 5 through 7 you become stabilized. But you have to have that comfort level and knowledge base. And on the flip side, for the investor, you have to have projects that have been vetted, that have the brands associated with it for its success as a high-end caliber resort. So who we are. As I mentioned, I specialize in raising capital for the branded luxury resort space, and solely in the Caribbean. So it's a very niche market to where I hope to build relationships after you see this video to foster a future conversation. And this is not transactional based, and I understand that, to where we have a conversation and maybe we don't even talk about what developments I currently have. Maybe more along the lines of my history, your history, what's your mandate, what's your comfort level. So it is relationship based, and the more we know about each other, makes it a lot easier. Obviously, I provide the early access to the developments that you will not hear about until their doors open, more than likely. But that being said, if you have the mandate to invest in this asset class, then we can have a future conversation regarding the different projects that are available. So, like I said, they're only focused in the Caribbean. I do not do anything in the United States. And I do receive requests from other developers. Here's my project. That, I'll look at them, but I have a criteria that I stick to, that the two that I work with meet that criteria. So, and it's not a high volume situation. So it's more of the project, the components, the vision, that all factors into which ones that we select, that I can have a future conversation with, you being the investor. So my role, we identify the premier branded resort resident projects. As I said, I only work with 2 developers at the moment, and we maintain the discretion. So, and what I mean by that, for your privacy, we do not promote that we closed a multi-million-dollar capital raise for XYZ Caribbean development. That's not how I operate, nor most people don't really want the exposure. Identifying the branded resorts, and I said I only work with 2 developers. I do receive developments to promote, to raise capital for, that I pass on just because they just don't meet the screening criteria for a project that fits in our wheelhouse. So what's the impact? The impact for you being the investor is you are providing the developers to shape the future of the Caribbean luxury market, and you're going to participate on the early stages and reap the benefits in the stabilization phase, if you will. All of the developments have a wellness focus component to their resort, which makes them a little more sustainable. They're high yielding investments, and yes, with the high yield of the investment, there is the risk. There's risk in everything. But having a de-risking component, which the brand identity does factor into the success. So I tried to be brief, tried to keep this under 5 minutes for you. If you are interested in learning about the projects that we can discuss, I'd be more than happy to share them with you so that you can either participate, but more importantly, it's the relationship-based feature that we're looking for, is to you get comfortable with me. I have questions regarding your family office mandate. Do you like the hospitality space? What's your comfort level? The few projects that I have in front of me currently, they may not fit for you, but based on our conversation, there may be a project that comes through that fits your mandate that I could come back to you and say, this one may be of interest to you and your family. So that being said, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. All my information is on this card, and look forward to speaking with you guys soon. Take care and have a great day.